Do-do-do-do-do-do. Shut up, we. Listen, I'm starting the show again. And the reason is because sometimes life hands you lemons, and sometimes life gives you lemonade. But most of the time, you have to go and buy lemonade. And that's my life right now. So I just figured I'm gonna do this again. I'm gonna make the Sensible Show back by popular demand, or maybe unpopular demand. Anyway, I'd like to thank our sponsors. Guys, listen, sometimes you need to cut things. And when you do, there's no better device than a device with that Nipex. And, they're great. So here we are in the garage, and I don't know, this might just be the new headquarters, but I wanted to, start the show. We have the start of the Tour de France today. We have a very big UFC fight tonight, Saturday, July 7th. And there's a lot to talk about. So now that we've thanked our wonderful sponsors, let's get into it. One, the Tour de France off to, an interesting start. Guys crashing. You got some dude off the front just showing off for the sponsors. One, let's just talk about the bikes for a second. Seeing a lot of the oversized pulleys. Now, I never liked the look of the oversized pulleys, but I don't know, I guess it's kind of grown. It's not so ugly now. Somehow the bikes kind of swallow the look of it a little better. But what's surprising is you see as many oversized pulleys as you do rim brake bikes. And I find that really strange because I was slow to convert over to the disc brakes on road bikes, but 2019, it's weird to see high-end bikes that are rim brake. And I only say that because, if you're riding Specialized or Trek or Cannondale, you're on disc. I don't even think you're given the option. Trek, I just know, isn't even making a lot of rim brake bikes anymore. You can go and buy an Electra Townie and it has disc for $400. So brands like that, I don't even think you have a choice, but Ridley and some of these other big but smaller brands, you're seeing, the crazy thing is you'll have 3 guys on the team on disc and then a guy on rim brake. And it's kind of like, what are we doing here? I'm going to go down and say it. I just think you should switch to disc. There's nothing wrong with rim brakes. Look at this. I got 2 rim brake bikes right here. Nothing wrong with it, but I think the through axle is just better. The through axle is strong. It's solid. I like that as a system better than a quick release skewer. And when you're getting these higher end level Ultegra and up, if you're Shimano, if you're SRAM, you're kind of fucked all the way around. Campy, any of them really. When you're getting these higher end shifters and calipers, they don't rub. You get a good frame. There's not that much flex. You don't hear that. That's like a issue. Even when disc brakes came out and it was through axle, like not even first gen, but second and third iterations, you could still get on, like, I don't want to call out names, but like a Scott addict and get on it, and it's like you can flex it enough to make the disc rub. Now they really got their stuff together. You don't hear rubbing. The braking is just awesome. It looks good. You know, it looks nice for that fork bridge area to just be clean and have nothing there. Flat mount calipers. It looks cool. You know, nothing. It doesn't look like added on bulk. It looks very sleek, and they just work so much better. You know, nothing wrong with rim brakes, but disc is incredible. And yeah, I think, you know, there's obviously a lot of old school mentality in these racers, but I don't think you need to be so old school that you protest against moving to disc brakes. I really don't. You want a traditional bend handlebar, cool. You want, you know, I don't know. But disc brakes, you know, guys saying they're getting their legs chopped off and stuff, man, I don't know. Is that really a thing? I'm sure it's happened, but, you know, I know myself, if I'm holding myself accountable, I like the better brakes. So anyway, yeah, I think it's weird. I think it's interesting to see so many rim brake bikes still. But at the same time, you know, you have guys still running mechanical shifting at the Tour de France. Oh, I just like it better. But it's not better. And I get it. Like, look, mechanical on everything. I'm all about that. But it's not actually better, right? The electronic is better. Multiple shift points is better. I'm in my sprint train lead out. I'm in the drops and I got those sprint shifters. That's better. It's just better. I can have full grip on the handlebars. Boom, 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 boom. I'm on a solo brake. I'm up on the tops. I got my forearms on the bar and I'm using the buttons on top of the shifter. I don't know if you know that, like Shimano, Di2, Ultegra, and Dura-Ace, you've got the buttons on top of the shifter. I can just hit it with my thumb and I'm all aero. That's better. It's just better, and it looks awesome. It's aero. A lot of modern bikes, like on this giant TCR, you know, the way they did the cable routing, it sucks to run these with mechanical shifting. The way the cables enter into the head tube, the way it exits the frame at the chainstay, it's not meant to run housing. There's such tight bends, the runs of housing are so short. It would be such a cleaner and better operation to have electronic shifting there. So I guess guys in the Tour, they're just so old school. I don't know, kind of weird. But yeah, should we thank another sponsor? I think we should. You know, sometimes in life you get lemonade and sometimes you get chain oil. And there's a lot of talk about chain oil these days, right? Oh, you still use oil? Oh no, man, you gotta wax. You gotta wax your chain, dude. It's the best. Oh, really? Yeah, so I'm not gonna wax your shit, and I don't think you should either. And this is an official sponsor. Don't think I just pulled this out from the side of the camera and I'm saying they're a sponsor. No, 1.6 million a year from Finish Line. And you see, that's the wet. Finish Line wet in the green bottle. Let me tell you something. If you were a mechanic at the Tour de France, right now, you're not putting on dry lubricant. I'm sorry. No way. You're going wet. So get yourself the Finish Line wet, because it's just better. You know, and that's really it. I don't want to keep you guys any longer for the 10 of you that are going to watch this on YouTube. You know, if you've followed me at all or followed Sensible Cyclists at all on Instagram, you'll know that Sensible is dead. but you're at the wake right now. You've been invited. So thank you for coming to the wake. And, you know, who knows? I got some time on my hands. I've got some freedom. And I might just do a couple more of these. And if they go well, I might just do a couple more. But in closing, I want to say UFC tonight. John Jones defends his title. He's a minus 500 and change underdog, which essentially means if you were betting on him, you would bet $500 to potentially win 100. So when a guy is minus 500, it's kind of considered like easy money because you risk $500, but there's such a good chance he's going to win. It's like, all right, I'll part with my $500 and then I get it back plus another 100. Okay. And I think you could take that bet because here's the thing with John. He just doesn't lose. Is that smart enough analysis for you? So that's going to be exciting though. Him defending the title. You know, this is kind of like an in-between fight for him because the real matchup would be, you know, one of the other classic contenders coming back, you know, maybe one of a Stipe or a Daniel Cormier. Not that I think that'll ever happen, but this is still going to be an exciting fight. But the real fight of the night, I think, it's not the main, it's the co-main. It's the Amanda Nunes versus Holmes. And Nunes is also the favorite to win, minus 325, I think. And, you know, this one's a bit harder to call because, you know, Holmes can pull some stuff out of her sleeve. She really can. She looks great. She looks like she's in great shape. I mean, Nunes, though, is just mentality-wise, when you see her in interviews, when you just hear her speak, when you just kind of pick up on her aura, she's just kind of on another level. And by that, I mean, she really doesn't have fucks to give. And that's kind of like woven into everything she does. And so she just goes into these fights without the emotional baggage. And she's such an incredibly accurate striker that unfortunately for your girl Holmes, it could be a rough night. But if you haven't watched a UFC fight in a while, I think this would be a decent card for you to kind of reintroduce yourself. And I don't know how you're going to watch it. Are you going to get the ESPN Plus app? Are you going to stream it maybe a little bit? But you do you. And yeah, the Tour de France, man, it's on. And so is this show. Goodbye.